Okay, good evening everyone, and thank you for watching this video this week. Here we are in week number 5. Just a few things I want to bring to your attention. One of those being that in week 5, you have 2 Paragon modules if it's in your course of study, plus one supplemental assignment that everyone will have to take. And in this week's topic deals with business ethics as well as business law or the legal environment of business. So as we think about the legal environment of or the legal environment as well as the business ethics, let's talk with the business ethics first, because that's going to focus on the importance of business ethics, ethical decision making, and ethical leadership. Business ethics in a global community, as you can imagine, certainly when it comes to human rights, price discrimination, bribery, intellectual property theft that we see from cyber attacks, certainly being the sexual and racial discrimination that we see in some cultures, especially in the global economy, in the global values that change from culture to culture. Also, the stockholder relationships, their social responsibility, and the reason why we have corporate governance to ensure that a company does not go down a wrong path in developing an ethics program, the responsibility of the corporation acting as a moral agent. So that's going to be some of the major topics in the business ethics piece that you're going to be looking at this week. And for the business, I am looking feverishly to find what I'm looking for to kind of have that discussion as well. Legal environment of business deals with the foundational principles of a business, the legal system, the alternate dispute resolution, how you do that, law of contracts, again, business and ethics. As you can imagine, business law goes hand in hand. The forms of a business organization and the global legal environment. So those topics kind of go hand in hand with each other this particular week. I get asked, what can I do to kind of help improve my readiness for some of these Paragon modules? One of the things that I would certainly suggest is focus on the things that you do not know. I mean, you do have a limited amount of time that you can spend studying, so I would focus on the topics that I really have a little bit of unfamiliarity with. That's where I would devote my time. If it's a topic that I have some familiarity with already, I may brush up on it, but I would not sacrifice that for that material that I just not familiar with at all. Again, going to quickmba.com, netmba.com, Investopedia, free management ebooks, Khan Academy, and there's just a whole host of other sources out there. Any textbooks that you've had from your undergraduate program that deals with some of these topics may be worth flipping through as you prepare. And certainly, please do some work every day. Don't wait till the weekend because there's just so much material that you're trying to crunch into the weekend. And it's been my experience when we do that, something inevitably will come up and it will challenge you, even take away some of that margin of time that you have that would even further push you to get things done on the weekend. So I certainly recommend doing some reading, doing some reviews each and every week. Certainly not only for this course, but for other courses. This course is a little bit unique because you have the opportunity to work ahead, so to speak, whereas some of these other courses you might not have quite as much flexibility. But consider forming a study group. I mean, there's nothing in the world wrong with that. If someone has some intricate knowledge of the topics that the other ones do not have, certainly don't hesitate to do that. You can use the Zoom platform in order to meet. All of you have a 40-minute free version. And the cool thing about 40 minutes is that it lets you know when it times out. You can sign out, sign right back in, and you have an additional 40 minutes, and you do that multiple times. But doing some study groups, certainly using the discussion forum to ask each other questions or ask me questions as well. And certainly, if you run across a topic that, hey, this just does not make sense to me, please reach out. Let me see if I can provide some other resource or at least have a discussion with you, and we may be able to clarify some of that information. But some of these techniques that we're talking about would be some of the very same techniques that I would use not only in this course, but for any other course that you're going to find in the program. What you're going to find out is that the university really doesn't, we don't have a location per se where graduate students can go push the button to get a tutor for graduate students. That typically is related for the undergraduate student, not so much the graduate student. So you really have to use some of these techniques, and most importantly, engaging that course professor will be absolutely paramount. But if you have any questions moving forward this week or any week in our program, please let me know. And for this week, again, you'll have the modules, if it's in your plan, associated with business ethics and or business law and ethics, business law and ethics and legal environment of business, depending on what's in your course of study. But certainly everyone will have to complete the business law and ethics assignment. And let me, one last thing here, if I may, when you're using Turnitin, use it to your advantage. I have Turnitin set up where for any of the coursework in this course, you can load up that assignment on Monday, and you can revise it and add it again on Tuesday, revise it and add it again on Wednesday if you so choose. But use Turnitin to your advantage. And when you look at Turnitin and you look at the report, there's two things that I want you to focus on. One of those is what material is highlighted in your report, which signifies that that is very, very similar to another paper and a website or something out there in Turnitin's repository that is very similar in nature. And it's going to come back, even if you put in a proper APA citation with the author and year and the page or para number, if you're direct quoting, that will come back highlighted as well. Then the second thing is to look at the similarity value index score. And between those two, I would look at the report first to see what was highlighted. And the goal would be to try to drive that number down. What's a good rule of thumb? If it's a blank sheet of paper, no one's giving you any instructions, 5 to 8%, 5 to 10% is typically a good number. Typically, but that may be course professor specific. For our course, we don't really have a number because we're asking you to leave the instructions in, and typically those instructions will drive up the numbers just a little anyway. But use Turnitin to your advantage. Look at that report, and when you see a lot of areas that is highlighted, go back and rework that paper. You have all week. I have it set up where it opens on the Monday and closes on Sunday. So every time you upload a paper, it overwrites the one that was originally there, and it does not compare it to the previous version. Please bear in mind that if you want to keep a copy of it, then you should download it in the PDF format before you upload it, because once you overwrite it, it is gone permanently. But this is what I want to talk about this week. We're a little bit over halfway now. We're really getting now into the final push for week 5, week 6, and week 7. Week 8, we don't have anything graded per se, no assignments to grade, no assignments you have to turn in. But we'll kind of use week 8 as a chance for if you have anything that's running a little bit late, we can get that caught up, and it gives you a chance to get ready for your next 8 weeks starting in the second session. Okay, thank you so much, and have a good day, and let me know if I can provide some assistance.